It's Inside the Huddle, Maple Grove Voice, back here with head coach of the Maple Grove girls basketball team, Mark Cook, and coach heading to the state tournament for the first time in a few years. And state week, what does it look like? What does it feel like? I mean, it's before we go there, let's rewind to Thursday night in the section championship game. What an amazing game. When you think about what a section championship game should be, you draw it up. It's pretty much spot on to what it should look like.
Well, first, kudos to Buffalo for being tremendous hosts, and the atmosphere was just amazing. It was fantastic. They did such a nice job. Just great hosts. And then when you get to play a team that you have so much respect for, that's led by a coach that's a good friend of yours that you have a ton of respect for and have learned a lot from, there's just a lot of factors beyond the game that went into that made it a really special night. And then the way our girls just came out and performed, you can't ask for anything more as a coach, for kids to really buy into the game plan and come out and execute it the way they did. And in a game where there were multiple opportunities to kind of fold and go away and let the moment get too big, they just never did that.
Kind of feels like when you're thinking about your team, this has been something that's been kind of building all year long. At what point during the regular season did you kind of know, hey, we got something kind of special cooking?
I think there's a couple of different points. I think, the last summer we'll go back to last spring. Last spring when kids all of a sudden were asking if they could go into the weight room and work out after school, and you had kids start showing up there, and you thought, oh, well, this is different. This is kind of cool. And then in the work ethic that they put into the summer workouts, and how they were always there and always showing up and wanting to do the extra work, and then game one, you go out and you beat a really, really good Minnetonka team. Those were moments that you kind of went, okay, all right, this is for real. You go out and you beat a really good Champlin team. You thought, we're playing with these top. We played Wayzata to a 5-point game here at home. And it's like we're playing with the top teams in the state. We got a shot at this thing.
So celebration ensues after the buzzer goes, and obviously it goes overtime. So it's one of those the section championship game, and it goes OT. Kids are really poised down the stretch. 6 free throws. You went 6 for 6 from the line. Really kind of put things away. When you talked about the poise, and it more so than just going 6 for 6, it's who went 6 for 6. It's a freshman and it's a sophomore.
Yeah, I mean, Abby and Jordan have been our backcourt, for the entire year, and they have, they started game 1 together, and they started game 29 together in the backcourt, and they have just handled it with an incredible poise, incredible class. They make their mistakes, but they learn from them, they grow from them. You don't see those kids making the same mistakes over and over again. And they both are just they're clutch kids. And if you know them and you know their personalities, that's just kind of who they are, which is what makes it so fun.
So now you spin it forward, and your first day of practice of state week. Obviously things change a little bit because you get 2 days of work before you got to go play, and then it's a noon game. So you're playing in the middle of the afternoon, and the culture that these kids live in from a basketball perspective. Playing in the afternoon, I don't think is any different, or it's a little bit. It's not any different now. I think it was more different, back in the day when AAU wasn't so prevalent, and they were used to playing at like 10 in the morning. But what changes from a mindset perspective, from how you prepare? Is there anything that changes, or is it just kind of we just do what we do?
Well, I think you hit it on the head there. I think you try not to change as much as you can. I think you try to keep routine as similar as you possibly can keep it. We're doing the same practice schedule. We're doing the same practice drills. We're doing the same routine of implementing game plans and going over scout work and all that kind of stuff that we've been doing all season. And so you try to keep it as normal as you can for the girls and for the coaches. And but the reality is it is different. It's a state tournament. It's a big stage. It's a big arena. It's a big opportunity, and the girls know that. So I think you also have to be honest with kids about that. If you try to sell them on some line of this is just another game, I think you lose credibility. So to be honest about the fact that this is a big one. This is huge, but it's a big one because it's the next one. It's the next one we have in front of us, and so you prepare in a way where you just try to get kids to really buy into that. And I like the work we did today in the gym, and I hopefully we'll have another good day tomorrow.
It's the third time you've had the opportunity to do this. What can you draw on from the past experiences you've had?
Well, I think schedule stuff. The schedule. As far as the what we do when we get down there and how it looks when we get down there and what happens after the games, things like that are things that we're doing a little bit different this go around, just because of we have that experience of what that looks like now. Keeping kind of things in perspective for kids is something that I think is a little bit, we're trying to do a little bit different this go around. Every team is so different. Every team is so unique and so it brings with it its different challenges and excitement and kids that's what makes this so fun, is that kids are so awesome. Kids are they're so neat and they just are. But it's always new kids. It's always new kids, new experiences, new personalities, and this group it's going to be a fun experience with this group of kids.
Final couple for you. It's been a good 2017-2018. You pick up your 200th win in the first regular season game of the season against Minnetonka. You have a baby girl, and now you're taking a trip downtown. Just kind of talk about the emotion that goes into because all of those things are big milestone type things. I mean, you have all boys, and so there's just a difference when you have a girl. It's just a completely different thing. But walk through that, because that's got to be an emotional thing too.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously there have been a lot of things this year that have gone on in the Cook family, and with the birth of our daughter on the December 28th when we played St. Michael the first time, and my wife. None of this is possible without my wife. My wife is the most supportive person I've ever been around. She, when we play Moorhead up in Alexandria, and she loads a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 2-month-old in the car to drive 2 hours up to Alexandria so that she can support her husband at the basketball game. I mean, that speaks to my wife, and so. And I think that's probably why Thursday night I reacted after the game was over with the emotion that I had. Was it's been an emotional year. It's been fun, and there's been a lot with the kids and with the personalities on this team and battling through building relationships with those kids and the evolution of that part of things and some of all of the emotion that comes with that. It's special. You have to try to kind of manage it, control it as best you can. But in that moment, I think I just sort of let it go, because it was so special, and everything kind of hit me that night. So
good luck on Wednesday.
Thanks. Appreciate all you do.
It takes a lot to bring down a Minnesota Vikings player, but when an injury occurs, a Twin Cities orthopedics physician is on the field and ready to assess the situation. TCO is the official sports medicine provider of the Minnesota Vikings and proud to be a part of the new home of the Minnesota Vikings in Eagan. Best yet, the community can see the same great doctors at one of our 40 clinic locations across the metro. Visit TCOMN.com to learn more. TCOMN.com.